Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have a brand new Schleich set to take a look at. Well, it's not totally brand new. I think this one's been out for a little while, but it's brand new to me. Anyway, we have a really cool, kind of like a control center type of a play set here, and we also seem to have some new versions of a few favorite dinosaurs from the Schleich line. We have the Brachiosaurus, which I really actually quite like that figure. I'm very excited to see the repaint of that one. And then we also have the Velociraptor down here with a new reddish paint scheme, and you can see quite a bit going on here as far as the artwork on the front of the box. You can see Dinosaurs up here with the Schleich Rex jamming its head through that O. You can also see a sneak peek of some of the playability features of the set, and then the Schleich logo up here in the top right-hand corner. Very cool looking. Really can't wait to dive into this one and pop it out of the box. If we go over here to the side, you can see a sneak peek of the human character here in this set feeding the Brachiosaurus, and then a better look at him actually, as well as some areas of articulation shown off. And then if we actually go all the way around, we can also see the raptor over here. And then, what do we get down? Another sneak peek of the raptor kind of contained within right there. And then here on the back, we have just images galore of what's going on with this set, kind of showing us quite a bit of different aspects and playability features of the set. And we also have this area here showing everything that is included, as well as the raptor actually sneaking right there up above it. And then down here, we have another image showing off a few different sets from Schleich that are also currently out. So let's go ahead, pop this box open, and check this incredibly cool looking set out right now. So once you open the box up, you have got a load of stuff in here. So you definitely have quite a bit to put together to create the final product here of this control center type of a set here, and you can definitely see again lots and lots of stuff included. So let's go ahead, pop all of this stuff out. I'll put this together and we will be right back. So we finally have the set put together and it looks absolutely awesome. This is very similar to previous sets that I've reviewed from Schleich, and I've loved those sets, and I think this one as well is extremely cool. Like, they really go the extra mile to give you so much when it comes to the extras and everything in the set. And this isn't all of it, actually. This is just the main part, but there's also an area that's kind of like a fenced-in area, so you can put your dinosaurs, which I just don't have enough room right now on my review station to bring up, but we will bring up here in a little bit to take a look at it. But again, you can see that we've got a lot going on, and definitely a lot of playability as far as the set goes, because there's just so many different areas that kind of articulate and just have different things you can do. Like specifically right here, you've got a gate, so you can open the gate, and then you can go in through here. So that's one area that's pretty cool. It kind of articulates if we move the Velociraptor here out of the way. You've also got this area that you can lift up and completely pick up to there, and you can head on inside here, which is pretty cool. You've got like this underground area. Well, not really underground, but this lower level, I should say. You also have ladders. The ladders can move, so you can bring those out away from the area itself. You can see that one as well. And then, of course, you've got your human character, and you have quite a few extras back there. But as you move up here, you can see that you actually have even more. We've got kind of a crane here that includes a hook, and you can actually drop the meat down. So actually, let's go ahead and set this up so we can kind of get an idea of how this works. So you can drop the meat down, and then bring it back up. And that works really nicely. You can see it works really well. It can go, of course, up and down. You also have the ability to articulate this and move it so that you can drop this meat wherever you would like to try to tempt our Velociraptor. And you can see it can completely go around to the other side. You've also got a weapon here. And then same deal, you can move it up and down. You can also go left and right. And of course, again, swivel all the way around if you would choose to. This weapon, of course, includes darts. And on top of those darts, you can see that we have an area back here containing some more ammunition. So if need be, you can head back there and acquire more. And you also have some vegetation here to feed your Brachiosaurus. So that's a pretty cool little extra. You also, of course, have your human character, but we're just going to move him out of the way here for a second. Back here, you have a snare gun. So you can see that you've got a snare. And this, again, can snare your dinosaur. You can lasso him if you choose to, and then it actually sits really nicely back there. So if we actually bring this down, you can see that we could set that on there and it stays back there very nicely. You also have binoculars back here, and the binoculars look really cool. And what's really neat about this is there's so many different pieces to this that you actually have to put together yourself. And I think everything goes together so easily, so smoothly. The hardest part, honestly, is putting the stickers on. I'm so bad at putting stickers on, but again, the hardest part of the entire thing is just putting the stickers on the right way, because otherwise everything goes together so smoothly and so nicely. We also have a chest back here, a case that includes some fun stuff, and you can see that we've got dinosaurs right there. It's upside down, but there you go. There's the Dinosaurs logo from Schleich. Once you open it up, you actually have a phone in there, so if we dump this out, you can see that we've got ourselves, as I smack the bejesus out of the camera, you've got yourself a phone, which actually has some pretty nice detailing, again, applied with a sticker. And you also have yourself a knife that you can give to your human character if you choose to, so you can either store those in here, or again, have him acquire the knife and hold on to it for protection. There is also a laptop, and the laptop does close. You can see you can completely close it and then open it up. Has the screen there, again, applied with a sticker, as well as the keyboard, which is definitely really, really cool. So you can put that back there on the desk of this observation center. And then down here you can see that we have another area here with the desk. You can kind of make out some stuff on the underneath. You've also got some more stuff going on over here, and one thing that's really cool, if you look back there on that image, you can see the Schleich Tyrannosaurus Rex there is actually displayed on that image, so I guess he is monitoring the Tyrannosaurus. If you look down here, you can see that we have a nice little see-through glass area. This as well, if I actually can get under there, that as well can articulate and come up. And you can see that there is a crack right there on that, so quite clearly this place has been under attack from dinosaurs in the past. And then if we turn it around to the back side, I really like this because if you look just right here, this reminds me so much of Jurassic World, and when the Indominus is escaping its enclosure, how there's like those scratch marks, and just generally the overall appearance to the way that this is built and put together. But the scratch marks you can see there's also some small scratch marks over here. So you can definitely see, again, proof that there has been some encounters with dinosaurs here in the past. We've got a nice warning label right here with a dinosaur head, and that as well as another area that you can actually enter the lower levels, so you can lift this up. I don't know if I can get it from down here. Actually, you're supposed to do it from the upper side, but I'm trying to do it from the outside because now I have, oh, there we go, so I can just grab right there. So you can lift that up all the way to head on into the lower level. Again, just so much playability to this set. It's so insanely cool. And then you can just slide that back down to close it. Now you also have this area we did initially enter again through that gate over there. And you can see that there's like some areas right here to kind of hook something to. That's because that is where you apply the fence. So you would have the fence leading out from this area, which we will do here in a moment. And then you can come up here. You can see the Dino Team logo again. You can see we've got a really cool window and everything over here so that you can see through to look to the other side. We've got our guy over here again, and then the vegetation. So there's like a whole lot going on top of this really cool, slab of meat that we have here to tempt our Velociraptor. There's also a net, so you can kind of trap dinosaurs in the net or whatever you would like. You can lift up that, that case and everything over there, and then hook it to the hook and, lift it up that way. So just some extra play as far as that goes. So let's go ahead, jump straight to a closer look at the dinosaurs now of this set. Now, as far as the exclusive to this set dinosaurs go, we have two different repaints. So these are released prior to Schleich. These have been released in the past, but they've been released in different colors. So the sculpts themselves are not exclusive to the set, but these paint variants are. And one of which that we have here is this Velociraptor. This is one of the earliest attempts to give us a feathered raptor from the Schleich line. And honestly, as per usual, when it comes to anything Schleich, it is super, super highly detailed. They always do a fantastic job of detailing out their figures, and you can see that especially when you look close at the feather detail and everything. Now, I have reviewed the figure in the past, so I don't need to review it again. We really only need to take a look at what is different with this figure, and then, of course, the Brachiosaurus in comparison to the initial releases. And that, of course, would be the paint application, and I will say I like this one so much more than the original version as far as the paint apps go, because I love the reddish tones of color on this. It's really vibrant, really appealing to the eye here in hand, and they've done a great job of not only applying that reddish coloration to the majority of the figure, but they've brought it all together beautifully with a dark wash, and the dark wash kind of helps to give it some color variation, helping it to look more realistic, and just generally, again, make all of that detail pop very nicely, very realistically. So I really love the coloration of this one so much more than the original one. And it's not even like there's a crazy amount of color included. Like, you really have just the red up here on the back, and of course running along the top of the head, running down into the arms and down into the legs, and then you have kind of like an off-white here for the underside. But due to that dark wash that's applied, it really makes all of the detail again pop in a really nice realistic way, but also just kind of gives it the appearance of having like color variation to the body. And I really think that is a tremendously awesome aspect to any Schleich figure every time they include that dark wash. We do also have yellow eyes with a black slit-like pupil. Of course, you have articulation with your raptor, so you can see that we've got a red tongue inside the mouth, and the teeth are painted pretty nicely. There's no sloppiness or anything that I can see, painted with a white. Everything looks to be pretty well done as far as the paintwork goes inside the mouth. You also have articulation in the arms, which is not something you always get when it comes to dinosaurs like this, so that's a plus as well when it comes to this particular raptor. But again, you have black nails, which actually sport a glossy look to it, but that's about it as far as the coloration goes. You don't really have anything else going on, but definitely a really nice paint variant of this raptor, and in my opinion, the best version of this raptor that there is. And then you have the really cool looking Brachiosaurus, and this one was one I was really intrigued to see because I've only recently, well, kind of recently, a few months ago, acquired the initial Brachiosaurus that was released as far as this particular sculpt goes from Schleich, so I was really excited to get a second paint variant of it. And you can see as far as coloration goes, we have a reddish tone for the face, and then we also have like some little hints of red there moving back into the neck, but it tapers off pretty quickly, although it picks up in the throat. So you have the red there in the face, you have some nice variations of like light greens and kind of yellows and stuff showing up in many different areas of the Brachiosaurus. You can also see a very dark blue running down the center of the head of the Brachiosaurus. You have that dark blue running down along the back as well. And you can see it looks really nice as far as that coloration chosen. And I think all of the tones of color actually play off of each other really nicely on this figure. It somehow has taken some pretty bright tones of color and managed to make it look like it could be the coloration of a Brachiosaurus. You can see that the blue transitions to a green, kind of a little bit of a darker green, but you don't see it super abundantly throughout because as quick as that green kind of picks up, transitions to a yellow, and then we have a yellow for the majority of the body. But again, in usual trademark Schleich fashion, we do have the dark wash. It's not quite as abundant or powerful as it was on the Velociraptor, but it definitely is present on this Brachiosaurus. So again, a huge plus as far as that goes. You can really pick out that wash here on the underside. But then again, you can see as we lead up here into the chest, that red picks up, and you have that red running the course of the entire underside of the neck, which was a pretty cool idea on the part of Schleich for this figure. You also have teeth that are painted with a white, though I will say a little bit of the red has run down into the teeth, so there is a little bit of sloppiness, but not too much. The inside of the mouth actually does have that reddish tone. Aside from the tongue is a purple, but the inside of the mouth mostly has the reddish tone, so actually it's kind of understandable that that red would be in there. So maybe it's not sloppiness. Maybe I was just not looking thoroughly at that. You can see, I guess, maybe that would be the coloration there behind the teeth, and then the teeth have been kind of dry brushed over to make them pop. We do have yellow eyes with a black pupil. You can see that for both sides. I think the eye paint on mine might be a little bit too large, but still pretty darn nice looking repaint. Again, as far as this Brachiosaurus goes, I think they did a fantastic job of choosing some pretty bright colors that I wouldn't normally think would look natural on a Brachiosaurus, but they've actually done a good job of changing my mind with this one, because I think maybe, it could have had a coloration similar to this. And all of the paintwork seems to be nicely applied. Like you could see some nice dry brushing, especially leading down here with these larger scales in the legs. You could see some dry brushing with those blues before transitioning to the greens, which is pretty nice. Again, smooth transitions between colors that have been airbrushed on. You also have nail paint, again with a, I think that's a dark gray bordering on a black. and that kind of has a little bit of a glossy look to it as well. So again, another really cool repaint, and I love these extra sets from Schleich, these play sets, because they usually give you either an exclusive dinosaur completely, but normally they just give you like a really cool repaint of an already released figure. And if you know me, you know I love repaints, so I'm really psyched to have this. And then you've also got your, I guess he would be some sort of an employee of this observation center, but you could see that we do have a pretty nice sculpt on him. You could see that he's got like a 5 o'clock shadow going on, some pretty nicely painted eyes, and he actually has a removable hat, so that's just another extra. You can see he's got some pretty nice hair up here, a nice dark brown for his hair. You can see that we also, actually I've added this sticker. I don't know, I might have missed it when I was putting this all together where that sticker goes, so I just threw it on his shirt, and I actually think it looks pretty nice there. But you can see as far as like the shirt goes, you can see wrinkles and everything, so there is some added extra sculpt as far as realism goes. He still is standing in this plastic thing that we can remove. I just had him in there because that's what he came in. And you can see that the pants as well, again, sport a lot of wrinkles, so it has a much more realistic and lifelike appearance to it. Whereas, you know, they could have just gone the lazy route and just sculpted out looking generic and straight and everything as far as the pants and shirt go. But they didn't. They went the extra mile to give us a lot of really nice realism to his outfit, and I think that definitely pays off as far as the final product goes. He also has some very nice boots as well, so a lot of really nice realism added to the figure, some nice paintwork, nothing over the top, but really quite nice, I will say. And we do have articulation. You can see we've got articulation in the arms. We also have articulation in the legs, but the legs do move together. They don't move independently. So a little bit of added articulation to your human figure, and then of course his hat, making him almost have a little bit of an Indiana Jones type look, but a pretty fun addition to this set for sure. And then you've also got, again, the fenced in area, which you can see does connect very nicely to the set, although I don't have this piece here actually connected. You would have to connect it right here, and I just don't have that much room on my review station, so I'm kind of turning it so that it's just kind of here up on the table rather than hanging off. But you can see that the fence itself also looks really nice. I probably should have connected it the other way so that the warning tape there was on the outside, which you easily can do by just turning it around. But again, the fence looks really nice. You also have kind of like a security camera here that's leaning out here, and you can again articulate and turn that as well. And you also have a satellite dish over here, so quite a bit of, again, fun extras. And then you can take your Brachiosaurus and put your Brachiosaurus here inside the area where he is staying. Oh, that's actually another area. I almost didn't even mention that, but that's another area that articulates. You can bring this up and then put that down. So there's so much stuff. Again, I actually forget about it. Then you have the vegetation here that you can put in the mouth of our Brachiosaurus. So he is now eating and feeding. So he's got a little bit to eat there. And again, I love this aspect, very Jurassic Park-ish, and as far as something that kids would enjoy, unquestionably something that kids would love. If your kid is a fan of dinosaurs in general, but Jurassic Park and Jurassic World specifically, this is a tremendous set to get them because they are definitely going to love it. But even as far as I'm concerned, as far as an adult collector goes, this is a fantastic set, especially if you are going to experiment with dinosaur toy photography. I can't even imagine the possibilities that you could open up as far as really cool images and settings and stuff that you can do. It looks like all of my missiles and everything have fallen over up here, but you again have just so many possibilities to create some really cool images when it comes to this absolutely awesome Schleich set. Now, I'm not going to do any kind of like a size comparison or measurements or anything like that because the figures here are pretty popular from Schleich. I would like to think that you'd probably have a pretty good idea. Actually, let me get back here a little bit to really bring this all into frame, but you can see again that the size is definitely pretty big. You can really tell that there's a lot to the set, and this Brachiosaurus, again, is a pretty popular Schleich figure. The Raptor as well was definitely a pretty popular one. So I would like to think you probably have a pretty good idea of the size of the set by now. But if you don't, trust me, it's really quite large. Definitely an overall massive set from Schleich that I almost can't even fit up here on my review station. It's also great as far as like display goes because you could have a really cool display with all of these figures here added in. Definitely an awesome, awesome set from Schleich. So there's one thing we haven't done with this set so far, and that is fire the missile. We're going to try to aim it down so that it doesn't disappear into I don't know where, but we'll go ahead and press the button. And there it goes. So you can see it absolutely can fire quite nicely. So you can defend your area here from the Velociraptor that is clearly outside awaiting the meal that would be either the Brachiosaurus or the human character. So you can use that to defend your area here again from the Velociraptor. You can kind of lure it in with that meat right there and then clobber it with a missile. And you also have some extra ammunition right there to reload your missile. So this large dino research station from Schleich is another incredibly awesome release on the part of Schleich. I love these playsets, absolutely adore them. We have taken a look at the Volcano playset in the past. I was so psyched to have this one now enter my collection as well because I was a big fan of the Volcano one. This one is actually probably cooler than the Volcano one, I would say. I really, really like the fact that there's just so much you can do with it. So many different areas that move and articulate. As far as a playability standpoint goes, this is through the roof. There's just so much you can do with it. But I also love how much there is because, again, as far as like taking images or display options when it comes to your collection, like there's just so many possibilities with this set. You really could create your own Jurassic Park with it if you choose to go that route. Again, there's just so many different extras included. You have things like the laptop, the knife, the phone, the snare gun, the binoculars, just tons of stuff, as well as really cool extras like the missile launcher. You also have the crane with the hook, and then you can again apply the meat or the net to create whatever you would like to create with it. You can kind of hoist things up with the net or lure in the Velociraptor with the meat. It's really up to you. You also have that area out there, that kind of yard where the Brachiosaurus is contained. They give you some vegetation to feed your Brachiosaurus, again creating really cool diorama or image possibilities as far as the worker here kind of feeding the Brachiosaurus. Just so much cool stuff you can create with this. And everything about this set is incredibly high quality. It's all as top of the line, I think, as it gets. And then they also have really cool, like, little things like the scratches on the outside as far as where dinosaurs have obviously tried to enter the research station in the past. You have, like, the security camera out there on the fence and a satellite dish. And again, there's just so much stuff. You also have the really cool human character, which is very nicely sculpted, very nice and precisely painted, and includes some pretty fun articulation. And on top of that, exclusive dinosaurs to this set, where you have the Brachiosaurus, a brand new total repaint from the previous release, and again, a very nice looking one. I don't know if I would prefer this or the original one, but this is definitely another nice looking version of the Brachiosaurus. I really love the red face. And you also have a Velociraptor with a beautiful red applied to it. Definitely my favorite version of that raptor so far, and both figures sporting that dark wash, again, really amps up the realism and really amps up the appeal factor, if you ask me. So really cool exclusive dinosaurs, an overall incredible set, as well as a nice human character. You, my friend, have got yourself a win when it comes to this large dino research station from Schleich. So if you are interested in this, I will include a link in the description to where you can purchase this on the Schleich website. So make sure you check the link in the description, go pick yourself up this fantastic Schleich set, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.